What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. I think this is episode 5 of False Damage Central podcast. Still getting used to that new name. This is the second episode we're recording tonight because I'll be out of town the week this comes out. But today, we're going to be looking at this April 99 issue of Gamepro magazine. And as always, I got my good buddy, Old School Legend Gaming here. What's up, Old School?
Yo, yo, yo. How's everybody?
All right. Now, let's get into it here. All right. I reworked the camera here. Hopefully, everybody can see this. We got the April 1999 edition of Gamepro magazine, issue 127 here. On the cover, we see Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. That was a big game here for the PS1 at this time. Then you got the Mario Party, Roll Cage, Street Fighter 3, Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. Man, the Dreamcast was a pretty big console. I guess it didn't sell that well, right? But for me, I think it was pretty big.
Yeah, so when the Dreamcast dropped, man, it was really popular. The thing that ended up destroying it was just how easy it was to pirate for it. So you could essentially just burn a game at like a slower speed on a CD, and the Dreamcast would read it with no mod chip, no nothing added to it.
I remember that. Yep. Nice. This is pretty sweet, man. This is going to be a trip down memory lane for us, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
All-Star Baseball 2000. I never really played it it's not like I never really played it. I never did play it. N64, Game Boy Color. It was on Game Boy Color. That's crazy,
man. So I remember back like around this time when these games would drop. They would drop on the PlayStation 1, the Nintendo 64, the Sega Saturn, and then the Game Boy Color. So I at first I didn't have a PlayStation. I had friends that had PlayStation 1, and well, back then it was just PlayStation because like no other PlayStation existed. And I remember WWF Attitude had come out, and I couldn't I had an N64, but for whatever reason, like I just didn't like those games on the N64.
Yeah.
So my parents ended up getting me WWF Attitude for the Game Boy Color, and man, it was awful. I mean, like it was good for a Game Boy game, but like you watch your friends playing WWF Attitude on PlayStation, and then like you go home to play it on your Game Boy Color.
Yeah, it
was a sad time,
dude. I believe I couldn't imagine playing those type of games on the Game Boy Color. Is the text backwards for you?
No.
You're seeing it fine. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. On my end, I'm seeing it as backwards, but we got Legend of Legaia.
So Legaia. So I've actually never played this game before, but I own it. I picked this up about maybe a year and a half ago. It's one of those PlayStation 1 games that fetches a high price. So this is one of the games that's in my collection that I'm hoping to get to eventually.
Nice. Man, there's a bad glare on this. I understand it's bad. Let me see if I can turn the light down a little bit, maybe. One sec.
Yeah, that didn't really do much. So on my screen, it looks like the glare is really bad on the left-hand side. So under where it says, if this were Los Angeles, yeah.
Yep. If this were Los Angeles, it would be considered a stage 8000 smog alert.
That's a pretty dope, some artwork though, man.
I know. Oh, it's better if I lift it up a little bit. But yeah. It's sick. It's spooky. It's really cool. Then we have Need for Speed High Stakes.
Man,
that looks like that's just for PlayStation too.
That was a good one.
The second place car doesn't get a trophy. It is the trophy. So sick, man. They got Driver. Yep. You are the wheel man.
I've always wanted to like love this game. So when you first play this game, there's like this crash course you have to do in the beginning. So it takes place in this garage, and you have a list of things you have to do in a minute. So it's like, hey, like do a U-turn, like slalom, which is like going like between cones, like you're swerving between cones. I think one you have to like speed up and stop on a dime and all this other stuff. I could never, ever, ever pass that part.
Oh
So
yeah.
I never, yeah, I never got far into it.
I've never played Driver, but I think I did recently get it on PS1.
Yep.
But I was a big Stuntman guy on the PS2. I loved Stuntman. That was awesome. It says red lights will be run, cop cruisers will be totaled, and bank robbing low lifes will escape if you're any good. Ooh, Vigilante 8.
Vigilante 8. Yeah, this was a fun one too, man. This was on the N64 and the PlayStation 1, and the Dreamcast, I believe. This is similar to Twisted Metal. This was kind of going back to our conversation about from the previous episode about companies making like bootleg versions of games,
Yeah.
or like their versions of games.
Yep.
So this was like the third party Twisted Metal. So it's good, it's fun, but Twisted Metal just destroys it.
Yeah, I remember playing this. I liked it. It was pretty good. But yeah, like you said, Twisted Metal was just better. It says, make way for the king of auto combat. Then you have an ad for Rampage 2 over here on the PlayStation, Nintendo 64.
So we got Siphon Filter over there on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, and see, they got an ad for E3 over here.
Man.
E3, no, like, I don't know if they no longer exist, but they have not done a show in the last couple years, I think. And I believe they canceled their show at the venue they normally rent out up until 2024. So I don't think E3 is even a thing anymore.
No, I think it got killed by the Summer Games Fest.
Yep. Siphon Filter over here. Silence Can Be Deadly on the PS1.
Man. So that game, anybody who has the PlayStation Plus Deluxe, whatever edition, this game is actually available on there. So you can play the PS1 version on your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4. Just a heads up, though, this game did not age well. So the controllers on it are atrocious. But back then, like 99, 2000, they were fine because that's all you had. You had nothing else to base it on.
That's all you know.
But you try to play it today, it's yeah.
What the hell is this? Just table of contents here. Time Tremors. The Continuum Project or something like that. Now, maybe your mom will stop wondering why you're spending so much time in the bedroom. I don't even know what that is, but that's pretty funny. Time Tremors game. I guess it was a game.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
This ad right here is a classic.
Yes.
To get the rest of this poster, look us up on the web at www.ohboy.com. Yep. It's advertising California Speed for Nintendo 64, it looks like. But I remember going to this website, and it is not what you're hoping it would be when you get there.
No.
Or at least it was.
No.
Wasn't she holding a poster of like a car or something?
Yeah, and she has like a jacket on.
Yes.
So there's like a jacket on, and she's holding a poster or something. So back, I didn't have a computer for the longest time. Like we grew up with not a lot of money, so I didn't have a computer. I had no access to the internet. One of my friends did, however, and I saw this ad in another magazine, and I was always trying to get to his house to go onto this website. So after about 2 months, I finally went over there, and I was like, hey, we got to go check out this website, blah, 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 blah. And it was just the most disappointing thing ever. Because, here you are, like, horny teenagers thinking, oh, we're going to see some boobs.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
Dude, that's so great, man. Good times.
Oh,
big
Soul Reaver.
Double page spread, Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain.
I wish this series got remade. This is such a good series.
I see a lot of that online. Apparently, it's great. I've never played it, but if they came out with a remake, I would definitely give it a go.
Yeah, so they have there's like a bunch of them. So they have like a Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, and then they have Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2. Then they just have Legacy of Kain, who is so the first game, Legacy of Kain, it's on the PlayStation 1, and it's like a top down, kind of the way the old Zeldas were.
Yep.
Where you kind of do that. And it's been a very long time since I played it, but I think like he's not initially a vampire, but he becomes a vampire at the end. They like kill his wife or whatever. And I can't remember the guy in Soul Reaver. I think his name is like Raziel or something like that.
Raziel. Yep.
Or Ezekiel. Raziel. Okay, yeah, that is Raziel.
Yeah, it says it right here.
And that was for me, that was like one of the first like third person platformer adventure games I played. And it was hard, it was difficult, but I had a lot of fun playing it, and it was very cool combat, very cool story, very cool environments. And I really wish that they would bring this series back.
Yeah, I heard the opening cutscene of this, I believe. Isn't it him ripping the wings, or he's getting his wings ripped off, right?
Yep.
That's so sick.
Yeah. So then the second Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver was a little on the weak side. It wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't as good as the first one. They try to add some new mechanics and stuff in there, and it just, I don't know. I don't think it worked.
Nah.
I'd be interested to go back and play it though. Army Men 3D.
Yeah, buddy. For PlayStation, I remember I played the first Army Men on the N64. I don't think I ever played this one. I don't know if it's the same game or what. I never had a PlayStation 1 growing up. I was a Nintendo 64 kid. The first PlayStation I ever owned was PS2.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I was an N64 kid myself. And then we had a family friend, Leah, and she had a PlayStation 1. So she would often come over and she would bring her PlayStation 1. And I'm a big fan of Doom. I love Doom. The original Doom is probably my top 5 of games of all time.
Yeah.
And she had Doom on the PlayStation 1. And every time she came over, man, I was just like, nope, no N64. I'm playing this PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then eventually she actually gave me the PlayStation, like with a bunch of games. So that's actually how I became a PlayStation fan. Because before it was Nintendo, like nothing else. Like I had no Sega Genesis, none of that. It was just Nintendo.
Oh, shout out Leah if you're watching. We know that you are. By here it says, by cooking them quickly, you seal in the juices. 90s advertising. I love it.
Oh man, I missed this.
Quake
2. Yes.
That's awesome. For PlayStation and Nintendo 64. I love just seeing the old box art and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had more complete in box N64 games, but I ain't paying some of the prices they're looking to get for them.
Yeah. I understand that.
Awesome. Head to head. I guess this was a section to where I guess people could write in and then get I guess some dialogue going with the editors of the magazine and stuff. Over here we got an ad for Sprite that says, I fight for truth, justice, and a shameless corporate sponsorship. I used to like looking at these when I was a kid with these magazines, the art attacks. People would send in their artwork of the different games they're playing. Got Oddworld, it looks like here, Zelda, and I'm not too sure what this one is. Does that look familiar to you? I don't know if you could see it.
I can't really see it too well.
Okay.
If you could zoom in a little bit, I might be able to tell you.
Let me see if I can pick it up here. Oh.
That's that one right there. Oh. Yep, that's a Brave Fencer Brave Fencer Musashi, which was a PS1 game.
Oh, okay. Okay. Makes sense why I don't know it now. We got Point Blank over here. I have no idea about that game. Never played it. Looks like a kind of a shooting game.
Yeah. I see that next page, man.
WCW Nitro.
Man, that was so. This is the advertisement for the N64 version.
Yeah.
So a little history lesson. So this originally came out on the PlayStation 1. So they released WCW Nitro, and then a sequel to it was WCW Thunder.
Yep.
Then they released WCW Nitro on the N64, and it's pretty much similar to the PlayStation 1 game, but it's got an updated roster.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have it on PS1. So, but the N64 version is the updated roster, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So what's cool about the PlayStation 1 version, and this is on Thunder also, when you pick your character, they have I think if you press like the square button or the circle button over them, they have like a little video of that wrestler. They're like cutting a promo.
Oh, that's so sick.
So you have like Kevin Nash. He'll be like, "Hey, player 1, pick me. I'm like the best guy or whatever." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, really cool stuff, man. Back in the day.
That's awesome, man. Wrestling games in the late 90s, early 2000s were the best, man.
Yeah, nothing like them.
Oh yeah. We got an ad for Game Boy Color.
Yes. It
says more colorful than the language on the expressway.
That's the exact Game Boy Color that I had too.
Oh, I had the transparent purple.
Oh, so I own the transparent purple one now.
Yeah.
Because obviously I rebought it, but yeah. So back when I got the Game Boy Color, I was actually 16 years old, and I remember this because that summer I had gotten it. My dad bought it for me because that summer I spent in New York to go with my uncles and my aunts and my cousins. So he bought me that to play on the plane, and the game that I had gotten was The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening DX.
Oh, and right here.
Yep. So that actually became the first Zelda game that I beat. I'm sorry. Second Zelda game that I beat.
Dude, I got a Game Boy Color, which I still have today, strictly for the Pokemon games. We talked about Pokemon a couple episodes ago. Yeah, mm-hmm. That's where I jumped in to it at. I was probably in 4th or 5th grade, just playing it like crazy, man. Good stuff. More
need
news.
A beeper?
Yeah, right. Need a beeper? Burst Gum has your number. It says free Motorola beeper with purchase of 12-month prepaid airtime package for $99. Just send in 3 outer wrappers from 15 packs of Burst chewing gum.
I used to love them Burst gums too. Did you ever chew those?
No, I don't think I had the Bursts. No.
So they have the flavor crystals that they advertise on there. So whenever you chew the gum, like you always like burst like the little like flavor crystals. Yeah. So they're always like kind of crunchy. But it was always nice because like you would chew your gum, and then all of a sudden you just get like these little like flavor explosions of like cinnamon or mint.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Eidos brings you spring fever. Not sure. I guess that's a developer or something.
Eidos, yeah.
Gex 3, Warzone 2100.
So you see, they were heavily involved with Tomb Raider, Gex, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Yep. Oh yeah. You see this article over here. It says Macintosh, the next great game machine. I remember going to the computer lab in school and having those super colorful Macs that we would work on.
Wow.
Like 3rd, 4th grade.
Man.
Classic, man. Classic. Then we have, I think this is a review. Yeah. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Special advertising section. So this is where they just review the game and build it up, try to sell some copies of it. Then you have the same thing for Gex here.
Gex.
Gex, that was like a 007 style lizard or gecko. I remember seeing, I remember watching Raw, like WWF Raw back in the day, and seeing, I think this game sponsored a lot of their episodes of Raw. I remember seeing it like crazy online. Warzone 2100.
2100.
GamePro hotline tips.
Oh, man.
Before the internet, kids, you would have to call a hotline, and it was, I forget, it's $1.30 a minute, and they just, I don't know if it's pre-recorded or you actually talk to somebody. I've never called them, but they just give you tips on your favorite games, the biggest games that you were playing at the time.
So most of them were pre-recorded, but some of them they had a live person that you could speak to. But the pre-recorded stuff, it was such BS, man, because like they effed you so bad. Because they'd be like, "Hello, thank you for calling the GamePro Hot Tips hotline." So like they drag out their words. So like in order to get the clue, like you have it's no less than like $10 because of like the time you spend listening to these people talk.
That's horrible, man.
So from my understanding, so back in the day when you used to call those in, some of those hotlines, they would actually have you talk to a developer, and like a developer would pick up the phone and be like, who created the game, and like you could talk to them, and hey, I'm stuck at, on level 4 at the volcano or whatever, and this person would actually like walk you through and say, oh, okay, yeah, so go ahead, like if you look up, you'll see this, you want to grab that or do this or whatever. Or sometimes they'd give you cheat codes.
Yeah, I forget what I was watching. It might have been something on Netflix or whatever, but it was one of those, I think it might have been like a Nintendo episode on like, you ever see that show on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us or something?
Yep.
I think there was a video game thing somewhere on there, and it showed one of these old call centers, and they would have books lined up, like big ass binders with maps and everything from all these different games, that if somebody calls and asks, like, they'll help you through the game. They'll open that book and walk you through step by step on how to do something. I thought that was freaking awesome.
Yeah. They need to bring that back.
Yeah,
how
right.
cool would that be?
Well, with like YouTube nowadays, it's like pointless. Why would anybody pay for that when they could just go on YouTube?
Oh, EverQuest.
Yep, EverQuest.
Man. So that's actually one game I never got into. I know I had a lot of friends that played EverQuest, and it consumed their life. They would call it Evercrack.
Yeah, I never got into it either. I never got into it either. This says The Beginner's Guide to EverQuest Part 3. So there was every month a new issue would come out, and they'd have strategy guides and stuff for different games. Dead in the Water, Live Fast, Die Wet. Looks like a boat combat game, maybe. Looks like they're shooting weapons and stuff. I've never played this, but it's the ad for PlayStation. Destiny, guard your destiny with your life.
Guardians Crusade.
Yeah, Guardians Crusade. Either. Sometimes destiny follows you. I never heard of that either. More Soul Reavers, Legacy of Kain. Cover feature. Yeah, I think this is just tips and tricks. GamePro 10th anniversary.
Oh, was this an April issue?
Yeah, April 99.
Yep. So one of the things about GamePro back in the day, so every April, since April Fools, they always had like a spoof version of their magazine inside the issue.
Lame
Lame Pro, yep.
Dude, I loved Lame Pro, man. It was so funny. As a kid, I was probably pretty corny now. But they got like fake games. Like this one's Saddam's Command and Cower. Titanic 2. Bleep. The Iceberg. Rogue Squadron. Thrill Killed. It's just so awesome, man. Sega reveals new system better than Dreamcast. And then I guess that was a
Nintendo and
spoof.
Sony respond.
That's funny. Good stuff. Good stuff. Baldur's Gate. I wasn't a PC gamer back then, so I never got into Baldur's Gate. The GamePro Online, they had their website set up. You can go on there and check it out. I don't think it's around anymore. GamePro went out of business a while back, I think.
I wonder. Hang on. Let me try to pull something up here real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I want to say their last issues went out in like the late 2008, 2009 maybe.
If you go to the Internet Archive, so archive.org,
yeah,
you could pull up the old GamePro.
Oh, that's
website.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's another episode right there, just scrolling through the old website.
and they have the magazines you could download. GamePro magazine 1989 to 2005.
You can download all of them?
Yep.
Oh, that's sick. I'm glad that exists, man. That's awesome. Got Tribes here. I never played it on PC, but when Tribes came to the PS2, I remember playing it.
Yep. I own Tribes on the PS2.
Yep. I got the network adapter for the PS2 strictly for that game. And I had dial-up. The internet was horrible, so it was never really a good connection, but I had fun with it. Fighting Force 64.
So this game initially was on the PlayStation 1, and it would probably be very hard to play now, but it's essentially a beat 'em up. It's a 3D beat 'em up, similar to your Streets of Rage or what would be like Shredder's Revenge is considered a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
I don't know what other beat 'em ups are, like what new beat 'em ups are out now, but yeah, this was on the PS1. It was all right, man. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. It looked cool because back then, like those like polygon 3D models, that's like what was in.
Yeah.
So of course it was like, oh man, these graphics are great. But if you were to play it now, you could probably get through the first 2 levels before you got bored, because it's very repetitive, because it's the same thing, just beating people up, picking weapons up, beating them over the head with it. And then they did the port of the Fighting Force from PlayStation 1 over to N64.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're showing the N64 version right here.
So what was good about the N64 versions of games is that there was no load times. So PlayStation 1 discs were on CDs, N64 games were on cartridges. What was good about the CDs was CD quality audio. You could get full motion video. N64, you couldn't do that. So when you played your wrestling games on the N64, you would have real music on there, but it was just like the man, I can't think of the name of what they're called right now, but it wasn't like the full like authentic audio. It just sounded like a recording of the audio.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, I never having a PlayStation, all I knew was those old N64 games, especially those wrestling games coming out. Mm-hmm. And I remember, what was it? Was it it was one of the WCW games, I think, where there's only like 2 theme songs, and every wrestler came out to the same 2.
Was this on N64?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the N64 ones, it was that were like that were WCW NWO World Tour, and then WCW NWO Revenge.
Oh yeah, I played that crap out of both of those, and then I got the WrestleMania 2000, and then No Mercy, and oh man, I was in heaven with those things, man. Street Fighter 3 Alpha. I know you're a big Street Fighter fan.
Yeah, I love that game so much. Such a good game. Pretty much like all the Alpha series I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I used to own Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the PlayStation 1, and I always took it over to my buddy's house, and like we would just sit there and play for hours.
I love the colors of them, man. It's awesome. Quake 2, Gauntlet Legends.
At the time, that was like the closest thing to like the arcade.
Yes.
Like that Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the PlayStation 1. It was, man, such a good time.
Heck yeah, man. Beetle Adventure Racing Driver again. Smash Brothers. I can't tell you how many hours I put into the N64 Smash Brothers.
That Beetle Adventure Racing game.
Yeah.
That's actually a lot of fun. So that's a I believe it's on the PlayStation 1 also, but it's on the N64. And if so back in the day they had this racing game called Cruisin'. So it was Cruisin' USA,
Yep.
Cruisin' World, and then finally it became Cruisin' Exotica. So this game is similar to that. It's very arcadey and just like a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I love me some Cruisin' USA. Smash Brothers though, man. Oh my God. I remember getting out of school, running over to my buddy's house because we lived in an apartment complex at the time. And I'd run over there right after school. We'd sit there until it was time to go home. And even on the weekends, we'd be there all night. Me and the three of his brothers would all sit there. We'd all have a controller and we'd just be battling out to all hours of the morning, constantly for hours. Such good times, man.
You want to hear something crazy?
Absolutely.
I've never played the original Smash Brothers.
Oh my God. Dude.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, going back now, it'd probably be like, man, this sucks. But at the time, it was so awesome, man. So good. Because now you have Smash Brothers Ultimate on the Switch, and just the graphics and everything, it's awesome. Can't beat that.
Yeah. I've never been a big Smash guy though.
Yeah.
Like I've always played it like here and there, but so back like, you know, I was like 18, 19, like around that time. The big one was the one on the GameCube, which was Melee, I believe.
Yep.
So I'd have buddies that had like parties at their house and like just like these big like Smash tournaments and everything, and I would just get dominated. I would get smashed, no pun intended. Because I didn't understand how the game worked.
Yeah.
So because I was always getting my ass beat, I just
didn't want to play it.
I never got like an interest to it. Yeah.
I get that. Soul of the Samurai, Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko, Ace Combat 3. Shenmue, yeah.
Oh,
I remember playing Shenmue at my buddy's house on the Dreamcast. That was a great game.
Yeah, that was really good. So, you know, they got the they got the remakes of them on I think they have them on the Xbox One also, but they have like the PS4.
Yeah, I got it on the PS4. I just haven't cracked it open yet.
So I tried replaying it, man, on the PS4, and like it didn't hit the way I remembered it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, man. It hit great back on the Dreamcast. I love that thing.
Oh, the Dex drive.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, this thing was crazy.
What was this thing? I never had it. I don't recall what it is.
So what this did was you were able to edit your saves for your N64 or your PlayStation 1. So you would take your memory card with your game save on it, you plug it into your Dex drive, upload it onto your computer through like a serial port. You'd go to this website, and then they would have stuff where you could, so other people would upload saves. So let's say, let's use Final Fantasy VII for an example, right? So somebody could be right before the final Sephiroth boss. They have all of the summons, all of the materia, everything else. They create that save, they upload it onto the internet. Then you take your card, you put it into your Dex drive, connect to the internet, to the website. Then you could transfer that save onto your memory card. That way you could start right up on there.
Wow.
And they also had other things where you could edit your save to where, let's use Final Fantasy VII again for an example. You could have potions, right? You have 5 potions. You could upload your save, and you could change your save to where you'll now have like 99 potions. So kind of similar to the way a Game Genie worked.
Yeah.
You were able to do that as well.
That's great. I never even heard of that thing. Dang, man.
Dude,
NASCAR.
I kind of want to stop talking, man, because like I'm like nerding the hell out.
Dude, no, that's great. I told you before we started, I haven't had any experience with probably 90% of these games in here. So it's good that you do and you can talk about it.
Yeah, no, I've played a lot of video games, man. A lot.
I thought I did, and then I started looking through these things like, oh, what's that?
Silent
Silent
Hill.
Hill, yep.
Oh, oh, oh,
Man.
oh. Bring that back. Bring back the original Silent Hill. I know they're coming out with the Silent Hill 2 remake. Bring back the original. Redo it with
Man.
today's graphics. Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, yeah.
RE Engine. Man,
So great. Gauntlet Legends.
that was a good one. I had a lot of fun playing that in the arcade.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that was an arcade game. Roll Cage. Never played that.
Yeah, that one passes me too.
GameDealer.com. The internet's game superstore. You go online, buy some games from there, I guess.
Nice.
I wonder if they're still up and running. Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Oh yes, another one of my favorites.
K1 Revenge.
So I'm also a big MMA fan, and I remember when that K1 Revenge came out. That was on the PlayStation 1, and man, that game is so trash. That's probably one of the worst games I think I've ever played in my life.
Really? I just realized these are all the reviews. These are the reviews of these games that GamePro put out. So just going back a little bit, Silent Hill. Graphics got a 4.0, sound got a 4.0, control 4.0, and fun factor 4.5.
Whoa, yeah. I mean, Silent Hill's good, man. I mean, it's hard to play now.
Yeah.
But back in that standards, I'm interested. What did they give? What did they rate K1?
K1, graphics 3.5, sound 4.0, control 3.5, and fun factor 4.0.
Oh wow.
Marvel.
Yeah, the controls on that were kind of wonky.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they got a 3.5 there. Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter, graphics 4.0, sound 4.5, control 3.5, and fun factor 4.0.
Man, hold on. So they gave Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter 3.5, and they gave K1 Revenge 3.5 in the control.
Yes.
In the control department.
Yep.
Man, that
they don't know what they're talking about.
No.
Street Skater. Rush Down. Fun factor 4.0 for both those.
Those are two I haven't played. I've never even heard of them, to be honest.
Backstreet Billiards. Okay, Pops, one more time. Kiss off the 5 ball, bounce off the pacemaker, around the dentures, down the walker, over the adult diapers, across Martha's cat, back onto the table to the 9 ball. That's funny. Their ads are great back then. Oh, WCW Thunder. We were talking about that earlier. Man, that was a 2.5, 2.5, 1.0, and 2.0.
Ooh, yeah.
That did not look good.
Those games were like they don't play very well, but they had some cool features, man.
Yeah, what I liked about the Thunder was the intro. You have the videos. It would play videos with the music.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. That was like probably one of my favorite things about that. And then the other thing was when the character select screen, where you
I don't remember that
like, promo videos.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. Man, Gex 3 playing up on that 007 style gecko thing. Super cool. More Vigilante 8. Oh, here he got a 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5 across the board. Color on the Go. More Game Boy Color games. Man, so crazy looking at all this stuff now. Mario Party for the 64.
Mario Party, man.
Nice.
That was the OG.
Heck yeah, man. 5.0 fun factor. I believe that. All those games are super fun.
Yeah. That was a really good one.
Back when Konami was making hockey games. Look at that.
Blades of Steel 99. I think I actually got one of the Konami hockey games on the PlayStation 1. I got it in a long box.
Really? Does
It might not.
Konami still
It might
make
not be a
sports
Konami
games?
one. I don't think Konami makes any games anymore.
Konami. What am I thinking of then with the Metal Gear Solids?
That. Oh no, yeah, that is Konami. Yeah,
Okay.
what am I talking about? Yeah. No, that is Konami. It was damn it. Who's the guy that left from them?
Kojima.
Kojima. There
Hideo
we go.
Kojima, yep. California Speed. Over here we got In the Zone 99. I used to love all those old sports games. I got what is it on the I forget what it was on the SNES. He's on fire.
NBA Jam.
That's it. NBA Jam. Why
Yep.
couldn't I think of that? But yeah. Love it. That's great. Oh,
Taifu. This was an interesting game.
who you calling a pussy? That's great. I never played it.
Yeah, it's another third person kind of platforming beat 'em up.
That's awesome. Sonic Adventure. I put
Yeah.
a lot of hours into this one on my buddy's Dreamcast.
Yeah, this was a good one, man. This is a really good one.
I'd like to pick this up for the Dreamcast now. I think it's going for like $40 or $50 though, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering how expensive like the other Dreamcast games are, like I don't think that's too bad of a price.
Yeah, I think it's later on in here, but another Dreamcast game I'd love to get is Power Stone, but that's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Monaco Grand Prix. Racing games. All-Star Baseball 2000. MLB 2000. Baseball 2000. Triple Play 2000. God, so many baseball games. Which I like the fact back in the day that there was like the MLB and NFL wasn't exclusive to one developer, right? Like now you got Madden with the NFL license, like complained about last episode, but back then it was just so good because there was competition. When there's competition, it's only good for the consumer. The consumer wins.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And each game always had like some different quirk about it.
Yeah.
So you might like the one from 989 Studios better than the one from EA or whatever it was. Yeah, those back then was a really good time for sports games because they weren't so like cliche sporty. You know what I mean? Like they were a lot of fun.
I love
I remember
the street games too. NBA Street, NFL Street.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what I was about to say. The NBA and NFL Street games were one of a kind, man. I wish they would bring those back.
Me too, man. Those are great.
I'm not even into sports games like that, but I would play remakes of those.
Oh yeah. Because it's not so much simulation, it's arcade, which makes it fun. Final Four 99. Man. Another K1 ad. Legend of Legaia. Previews, it says.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
Oh, so that's what you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Man, Role Player's Realm, Pro Strategy Guide. So that's another thing they do every month would have a strategy guide for one game. I don't think it'd take you through the whole thing, but it just give you tips and tricks. Oh, part 3. So I guess they do give you the whole game over a course of a couple issues.
This is another game I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of.
I've never played it, so I have no clue about it.
Yeah, it's an RPG. It's not a turn-based RPG. It's not a turn-based RPG though. So it's kind of more like action-based, but yeah, it's pretty solid.
Oh, I might like it then. I'm not usually a fan of turn-based stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly in my opinion, I think a lot of the good, like the better role-playing games, the turn-based role-playing games are on the original PlayStation.
Yeah. Castlevania.
Drax back. Yeah. I actually love this game, man. I know this game gets so much hate, but I actually really, really enjoy this game, even to this day.
I've never played it. Is this? Oh, obviously Nintendo 64. Was this on any other platforms?
Nope.
Okay.
This is exclusive to the N64. So this is like the first like 3D Castlevania game.
Really?
So the camera angles on it are wonky. So it's one of those games where you have to like move and like constantly adjust the camera.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard, man. It's pretty difficult. There's one point where you have to get this stuff called I think it's called like Mandrangora or something like that. And pretty much it's like a C4. Um, you have to go blow up a wall, but you have to go from like one part of a castle to like the next part of the castle.
Uh-huh.
You can't run, you can't really hit, so you have to be like super careful. And then on the way back, there's like tons of obstacles and enemies and stuff you got to get through, and that's such a hard part. But other than that, like the game is, I mean, I like it. I always thought it was pretty good, and even to this day, as blocky and wonky as it is, I still like it.
Yeah. I never got into the Castlevania series, but I think the new one that they're coming out with I think it's a remake maybe, or is it a whole new game?
They're coming out with a new Castlevania. I don't think I've
so.
seen that.
I think so. Yeah, it might be a remake, but I believe I saw it. I don't know if it was a Nintendo Direct or something else. It might have been at Summer Games Fest or something, but it might jump in there. It looks pretty cool. It's another side scroller. It's not like a 3D game, I don't think. But this is what's cool about GamePro too. Like, yeah, you got the strategy guides and everything, but then they'll put a map on there and show you the correct path. So if you're stuck, you're not knowing what to do, you'd turn this page and see. They'll help you get through the hedge maze map.
Nice.
I like it. They show you all the points of interest on the maps and everything. So cool. Info line. Oh, so Game Cave. This was another hotline you can call. You can order video games. You can order, looks like toys and stuff, action figures. Got US N64. I'll point out a couple of these games here. Let me see. Mario Party, $45.99. I don't know. It doesn't say if it's brand new in box. I don't know if it's used or what, but for $45.99, I can't remember what I was too little to even care what the price was at the store at the time, but if that's brand new for a game, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Tonic Trouble.
Tonic Trouble, yep. Never played it. Says, when all the trouble is all your fault, be a man and stand tall. Marvel superheroes, some more superheroes versus Street Fighter here. Just giving you everybody's move sets.
Nice.
Ryu, Spider-Man, Cyclops, Captain America. Nice. California Speed. Was this the same woman from the other ad?
Yep, that was the that's the poster that she holds in the
on the website.
When you go to that website.
That's too funny, man. SWAT Pro. Oh, it gives you codes for all different games and stuff. That's pretty sick. Cheat codes. Funko Land
Superstore.
Yep.
Man.
Dang, dude. More codes. I think this is where I lived for the most part when a new issue of this came in the mail. I just could flip right to the cheat codes. What can I do? So cool, man. Twisted Metal 3. Test Drive, Circuit Breakers, R-Types. Ad for Game Shark. Yep. So sick. Then on the very back, Duke Nukem Zero Hour. I never played Zero Hour, but I played the first one that came out on the 64. And I put a lot of hours into that too, but I don't think I ever got past like the first 3 levels.
So I feel like I never played Zero Hour before, but I recently played Duke Nukem on the N64, probably about a year ago, but I don't remember anything about it. Like nothing about it seemed familiar, so maybe it was Zero Hour that I played and I just didn't realize it.
Yeah. I think that this line sums up Duke Nukem in a nutshell. I'm the good and the bad. You're just ugly.
I've got balls of steel.
So great, dude. They need to make a new Duke Nukem game, man.
Yeah. Well, they tried to like 15 years ago, man, and it flopped. That one that came out of the PS3 and the 360.
Yeah, I think I have that too. I got it for like $3 somewhere.
Yeah. And I mean, I personally didn't think it was that bad.
I haven't touched it since I bought it, but I was like, $3? Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, I mean, like it just seemed like a very like generic first person shooter, you know, and there's a lot of toilet humor in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, so I don't know if that was, you know, that kind of came out at a time where that stuff was just like getting out of popularity. So a lot of people didn't like that, but I don't know. Like I wasn't expecting when I played it, I wasn't expecting it to be like the game of the millennium or anything. You know what I mean? Like I was just I went to play it just to have a good time, and I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think that brings us to the end of this episode. I appreciate you, Old School, for hanging out with me again. Looking at this,
appreciate it, man.
Looking at this dope magazine. Depending
yeah,
on,
this is a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man! I got like 40 or 50 more issues over there. So if people like this, I mean, at this point, I don't really care. I like it, so I think I'm gonna keep doing it. But if you like it, drop a like, subscribe on the channel, and we can do this again. We'd probably do, I don't know, maybe do one podcast a month of just reviewing not reviewing, but looking at these old magazines and stuff. But all right, this was fun. This was cool. I appreciate everybody watching, tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.